Hey everyone, this is Jiren of the East, and this is another late night rambles video that I just came up an idea for a while, just a few minutes ago while watching Dragon Ball Super, and in anticipation for the next episode of the dub to come out. Plus, also giving myself an excuse to use my new Logitech camera I got over the holidays. I mean, it was time to retire the old one. I've used that for almost actually over 4 years at this point. So, anyways, the topic of this video I wanted to think about was in relation to Dragon Ball Super was about the Tournament of Power. Now, I know for those of you who've actually watched the original Japanese sub, know what happened. But for those of you who've only watched the English dub, just be prepared that this video is containing spoilers about the whole Tournament of Power. So if you don't want to be spoiled about that, I suggest you just click off this video. But anyways, I had this thought in my head after what happened in Tournament of Power of that since Universe 7 defeats Universe 10 and Jiren was pretty much the last obstacle to tackle before the end. And he was the only thing that was pretty much preventing Universe 7 from winning. And all they could pretty much do, even when they were exhausted, was push him out the ring, leaving Android 17 to be the sole winner of the tournament. So that makes me think, what other universe has the most possibility of winning the tournament? I mean, I would just say, like, who had the better chance of defeating Universe 10, because, quite honestly, if you want to win the tournament, you had to pretty much defeat Universe 10. Cause I know there was also the other condition of winning by having the most amount of members at the end of the tournament by running out the clock. But I thought to myself that Universe 10 would honestly wipe out all the other universes first before the time limit even went up. So I had to think to myself, like, pretty much Jiren, or at least the top three, Jiren, Topo, and Dispo are the big three that any other universe had to defeat in order to win the tournament. But I'm gonna take into consideration all the excuse me, all the conditions that happened during the Tournament of Power, like the power-ups, the fusions, all the trickeries and plans they all used to try and win this tournament. Now, this is completely a hypothetical and discussion-based vlog I wanted to do for this late night ramble on how they could possibly win this. Any other universe could possibly win this tournament. And I'm going to be going in order from the ones that participate in the tournament, and I'm excluding Universe 7. So let's just say for the sake of the argument that Universe 7 is out of the tournament and they got wiped out. And we're going to leave it to Universe 10 and one of the other universes that are competing in the tournament. So let me go down the list and let's do Universe 2 first. The Love Universe, or the universe with Ribrianne and her fighters. Gentle Universe, that's actually what it's called, my mistake. So the Gentle Universe, it has been pretty much stated by their god of destruction that they did not choose their strongest fighters, but the fighters that had the most amount of love, at least according to the sub. And they said that their love was pretty much their strength. And the stronger their love, the stronger their power. We have seen that with Ribrianne when pretty much the majority of the denizens of Universe 2 gave all their love towards Ribrianne in the world of the Void. It's pretty much become this giant thing, like a giant form in order to take out Android 18. And I'm also considering the power scaling for how this all works out too, and not just techniques but also their power. So let me go into the fighters for Universe 2. So we got the Yardrat, who's able to use instant transmission. One of the Sulfurians in that universe is there as well. Ribrianne and her two friends. And trying to remember who the other fighters are, if there are any use for this. Oh yeah, the sniper guy. We got the sniper and the guy who can redirect all the blasts. So we got an instant transmission, a sniper, and our lovely trio. How would they be able to stand up against Universe 10? If we were also to assume that Universe 6 was wiped out even when using the Patara earrings, how will that work out? Like, if they were given the Patara earrings to use in this tournament, all we know is that that weird jewel-headed guy, if I can find out his name. No, it's not Zerloin. Okay, it was Zarbuto and... No, not Razi. I think it was Kak... To remember which one it was. Yeah, it was the jewel-headed guy. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I got a list right here to pretty much look up which one's which. So when I think about it, if they used the Patara earrings, maybe it could have worked. But anyways, how will this work out? Now, considering that Ribrianne was their go-to fighter, and she was able to go up against Super Saiyan Blue Goku at a couple points, but she was ultimately defeated by Android 18, and Android 17 also dished out a bunch of eliminations on that universe as well. So by their power alone, they were able... Most of Universe 2's fighters are at least Super Saiyan Blue powered. And considering that Android 17 was able to go toe-to-toe with Goku at Super Saiyan Blue, and Android 18 deflected a Super Saiyan Blue level Kamehameha with a kick, that makes me think that their strongest fighters are at least Super Saiyan Blue level. Their techniques, they're able to work as a team, so that also helps out. And they also have a good strategy with their snipers, and they have support not only from the bystanders and for those who got eliminated, but also their own universe, so they can get stronger with their love. However, if we even take that into consideration, and they manage to defeat the majority of the Pride Troopers, I don't think they would even stand a chance against their big three of Jiren, Topo, and Dispo. Dispo is way too fast for any of the Universe 2 fighters to comprehend. Even if we gave the Yardrat's instant transmission to throw him off a bit and probably knock him out, Topo's got a destruction power, even for Awakened, and Jiren just alone would just knock out anyone else from that universe. So, quite frankly, Universe 2 doesn't stand a chance. They can only get so far with their power and their teamwork. And even with Ribrianne's giant form, as Goku stated, even with their increased size, that also means they have a lot more weak points. And since Jiren was able to push back a Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, even with a Spirit Bomb, and not even at his full power, yeah, I don't think they have a chance. But could they outlast the time? No, I don't think they will even be able to outlast the time. So, on to the next universe, and that is Universe 3. Universe 3, or the spiritual universe, which is kind of funny since they're all robots, or mostly mechanical. They had a pretty unique sound strategy. They had their Kai claimed they have a pretty strategic universe on going up against all the other people, but what would have been against them in the Pride Troopers? They are pretty unique in their own right, but how would they do against all of them? they have a bunch of robots that can combine into a giant robot with Boloretta. Oh, Kato Plaza, the Sentai type of hero. He's pretty funny, and he was able to go toe to toe with Vegeta, but not much. And yet he was able to. He was knocked off by the Invisible Fighter from Universe 4, which I'll get to Universe 4 in a bit. So even if we counted all of that, I wonder what would have happened if we also included when they all fused together. Oh yeah, the combined robot, especially with Dr. Paparoni, if they would most likely be the last ones to face off against Universe 10. Universe 10's fighters, it took the remaining members of Universe 7 to try and deflect a blast from the merged fighter, not only from Paparoni. So, I'm trying to remember the name of their. Trying to remember the name of the big thing that they used to become. They used to become at the end of their run in the tournament. Oh, Anilaza. That was the name. So yeah, my only thought, because Jiren was able to one punch one of their fighters pretty easily. So Anilaza would be their go-to fighter. Since the majority of Universe 3's fighters got knocked out to the side, save for one of their other fighters. Now, Anilaza will be their ace in the hole, of course. But that's pretty much 4-in-1 fighters. And as it was stated, that was pretty much a risky move, because if Anilaza got out, that means they lost 4 fighters. So how would their power work against the might of Jiren and the Pride Troopers? Pretty much, I think as usual, the Pride Troopers team up might do more damage to Anilaza due to their sound strategy. And if they did fuse before they knocked all the Pride Troopers, the majority of them out, I think they might get sucked up by one of the Pride Troopers' abilities with the pocket dimension, and they might be able to break out of that with some effort, but as a whole team, they could most likely knock out Anilaza, with a few of them might be being knocked out in the struggle. But how would this work out in their favor against the rest of the Pride Troopers? It took the combined might of a Super Saiyan Blue, Goku and Vegeta, Golden Frieza, Mystic Gohan, and Android 17 to hold the pushback of blast from Anilaza, and 17 pretty much destroyed the core, which was the jewel on its head. There was probably no doubt that anyone else in the Pride Troopers can figure out Anilaza's weakness and also deflect a blast, since they all tend to work together as a team. In terms of power scaling, if it took the combined might of the rest of the remaining members of Universe 7 to stop Anilaza, there's no doubt Jiren could also stop the blast by himself. So Universe 3 also doesn't have a chance to knock him out. Even with the time limit, even with all their strategies, they wouldn't have a single chance against them. Now for Universe 4, this Trickster universe. They've been mostly playing sneakily in the whole tournament of power, so this is also another tricky one in this case as well. So how would Universe 4 go? The conspiracy universe. There are 2 aces in the hole, the small fighter, and yeah, their small fighter, I think it was Daemon. Yeah, Daemon was their bug fighter, and their invisible fighter was Gamisaurus. Those were their 2 aces in the hole, trying to sneakily knock fighters out and also make it hard for them to hit them. But their main fighter, I'm trying to remember who their main fighter was. Ganos, yeah, it was Ganos, the big bird guy. Those are like their big three. And considering that the majority of them are able to use their sneaky tactics to get around the other fighters, especially throwing off a couple of the Universe 7 fighters off track, even getting Piccolo out with the Invisible Fighter, and almost Vegeta, this could work in their favor, and probably, in my opinion, the most likely team to run out the clock if they were sneaky enough and without attracting too much attention. But how could they work out? I think in terms of their abilities, two of them are able to use their illusion powers, Dekori and Nink. They can create illusions to throw off some of the Pride Troopers. Daemon and Gamisaurus are hard to detect, and if I'm correct, and correct me wrong if I'm on this, I know Daemon was able to be detected thanks to sensing the energy, but he was just so small that it was hard to track him. But Gamisaurus was an invisible fighter, and yet he was exploited using dust to try and track where he is. But yet, Dekori and Nink with their illusionary powers can give them the advantage and knock out the majority of the Pride Troopers, especially Dekori, since it's hard to get to try and knock away or shake off the illusion powers. She even stated that she gets stronger in the night or in a darkened area and using her talismans to bind their shadows in place. So this could work against the likes of even Dispo, since if I'm correct, again, correct me if I'm wrong, he was considered the newbie of the Pride Troopers. So even with his speed, one wrong move and he could get his shadow tagged, which could leave him wide open for an attack from the rest of the Universe 4 fighters. And Nink also could trick them into fighting off shades of the fighters that they got to destroy. And Ganos, even by Roshi's own words, says that he could even become a problem for Goku or Vegeta later down the line if he stood much longer in the tournament. So there is a sense of power increase with Ganos if he were to survive much longer in a tournament. So how would this go about? And I am being really generous with this part. If they play their cards right, there's conspiracy, they could potentially get the Pride Troop, the majority of the Pride Troopers and Dispo out, but more than likely leave Jiren and Topo still in them, because based on their own strengths, Ganos was defeated by Roshi, who was considered to be the weakest of the Universe 7 fighters, but it was his superior tactics that won him in the end. And it was more likely his Kamehameha pushed Ganos out of the ring. Roshi managed to defeat 3 of the Universe 4 fighters. And it didn't take that long for 17 to figure out how to find Daemon, nor Piccolo and Gohan to get rid of Gamisaurus' weakness with using dust to expose him. So, again, it's hard to detect what their actual power is through power scaling. Oh, shoot, I dropped something. Sorry about that. But there is no doubt that Jiren and Topo can easily knock out these fighters. But if they were given the opportunity, even at the point of getting rid of Dispo, they would more than likely know that something's going on and they have to get rid of them. And Kitelo would have them pretty much say, just run out the clock. We know we can't beat him, but all we can do right now is just wait out the clock. Jiren wouldn't give him the time, but with his power, he could probably just, from his sheer power, could knock away Daemon and Gamisauce, leaving Ganos probably the only fighter left if it was just down to pure power. If his power were increased from the time he fought Roshi and went around to the very end, he could be a bit of a match for Topo pre-God Destruction, but once the God Destruction power comes, that would pretty much be it for him. So yeah, my only theory for Universe 4 to possibly win is to run out the clock with their trickery and disposition with the illusionary powers, their sneaky fighters, and Ganos' power increasing ever slightly to give him an edge. But other than that, on pure power alone, just to eliminate the fighters, they wouldn't have a chance. So as I said, this is the universe that's most likely to win through running out the clock. And now Universe 6. Universe 6, I feel, has the biggest chance of winning the Tournament of Power, since thanks to their presence of their own Saiyans. But the majority of their other fighters have a great chance of surviving the tournament, not only probably through power, but also more likely to run out the clock. Now let's go down the whole list. So we also have the most information, though, thanks to not only the Universe 6 tournament arc, but from what we saw previously, we got the most screen time with them pre the tournament. So the most obvious is we have 3 Saiyans, 2 of which were fused during the tournament to become Kefla. Caulifla and Kale becoming Kefla. And they were pretty much prodigies in their own universe. And Kaba was able to go Super Saiyan 2 near his end of the tournament before he got eliminated. Frost can go 100% power, kind of like Frieza, as was shown before his elimination. Magetta has really strong durability, but is easily insulted because of his race. What else? Oh, Botamo. Botamo can also be pretty useful since his body can send blasts to another dimension. But because of Gohan exploiting that weakness, all he had to do is just build up enough force just to knock him out of the arena. Like, just lift him up and boom, he's gone. So they're more. I mean, we even saw Kale and Caulifla using their combined might to knock out the majority of the Pride Troopers. So we already know they can do that. But what about the rest of Universe 6? How can they handle against the big 3? Dr. Rota would already be out, because we know nothing about him, but only from the manga we know he can use magic, but we don't know what his power is. He could be pretty much just knocked out of the equation. What about everyone else? The Namekians would still take time to power themselves up, or get all the power from the Namekians that they fused with up to that point. But if it was just the 2 universes, they would have the full power already. But if it came down to it and they needed more power, one or the other could fuse their partner to become a very strong Namekian together. That would give them a very strong power boost, but I think it would also still take some time for the full power to get to that point. And it could get them down to that point if it was just down to the big 3 and they've saved the time. They could be a very powerful ally near the end. For the 3 Saiyans, much like any other Saiyans, they are able to utilize the Zenkai boost and get power as they go into the tournament. I mean, as we saw with Caulifla, she was able to not only utilized Super Saiyan like very quickly, but Super Saiyan 2 like almost within the same day, I believe, like for only a brief second. And it took Kaba a bit through the tournament to get to Super Saiyan 2, and Kale, since she uses Super Saiyan Berserk, which is kind of like Broly at that point, she's able to gain more power as time went on thanks to her infinite ki. And she was able to take attacks from Super Saiyan Blue Goku, especially with a Kamehameha Full Blast. Kind of like obviously a reference to the movie, but it shows her strength. And with Kefla, the Potara fusion, going with Super Saiyan Berserk 2, I think that was the official translation or fan made up term for their power up. They were able to take out a Kaioken Blue Goku. It was only up until Ultra Instinct Omen that they were being overwhelmed. So it shows that both Kefla and Jiren can take out a Super Saiyan Kaioken, Super Saiyan, not Kaioken Blue basically. So they're the most likely chance to go up against Jiren at any capacity. All the other fighters, well, save for Hit, since we already knew Hit's time displacement could slow Jiren down, but he managed to get rid of Jiren, or stop Jiren slightly, but Jiren was able to power through the attack just through sheer power alone. So for all the fighters here, just let me think about this real quick. I feel the big five that could still make it into the against the big three of Universe 10 would be KO, Caulifla, Kaba, Hit, and one of the two Namekians if they were fused. And if KO and Caulifla did not defuse and they were stuck as Kefla, it would come down to the wire with them at full strength. And if the Zenkai boost was utilized, we could get a potential Super Saiyan 3 power up in the fusion, which could do some damage. I'm being generous, and that could be almost a equal power to Ultra Instinct Omen, except without the use of moving before thinking. That could do some damage to Jiren, but with the addition of a possible Super Saiyan 3 part, even with the Potara, that would be a huge stamina drain on them. And if Hit wasn't knocked out before they get to that point, they could use the time displacement to like hold up one of the fighters, especially since he was able to keep up with Dispo to a degree. Possibly Universe 6 could defeat Universe 10 from power. Even if Topo went with going with his God of Destruction, it would be difficult for them. Basically, it would come down to a tag team with Hit and Kefla trying to slow the fighters down with the time displacement or time skip ability and the sheer power of the Potara fusion. I mean, I even got Jiren's attention when he was trying to meditate. I mean, there's no concrete way of thinking, but out of all the universes, Universe 6 seems the most likely, other than Universe 7, to actually defeat Universe 10. If they can even get rid of Jiren. Because Jiren would most likely, along with Topo, be the only fighters if it was against the remaining Universe 6 fighters. But they will also more than likely win running out the clock alongside Universe 4, given their strategies. So yeah, at this point right now, Universe 6 is the most likely to defeat Universe 10. Now, the weakest of the universe is Universe 9. No. Universe 9 will not win whatsoever. Oh, when I think Universe 10, God, that. Now the. I meant to say Universe 11. Jesus Christ, why did I made a mistake throughout this whole video saying it was Universe 10, not Universe 11. Jesus. But yeah, Universe 9. Universe 9 is not going to go anywhere whatsoever. And I'm being generous if they were even anywhere near going to make it to the finals without any of their fighters getting knocked out. So let's say no one from Universe 9 gets knocked out and they get to the very end against Universe 11. Universe 11 would just floor them, and none of the Prime Troopers would even get knocked out. Because to them, Universe 9 is a bunch of thugs, and Universe 11 has no problem going up against thugs. This is the reason why Universe 9 was considered the weakest in the mortal levels as well. Their universe is just a chaotic mess. All they had to do was just fight to survive in that universe. Gangs, violence, whatever. They don't take good care of their universe whatsoever. Yeah, Universe 9's not gonna do any good in this tournament, even against Jiren. I mean, Jiren's not even gonna fight them. It would just come down to probably Casserel and the rest of the Pride Troopers just taking them out. Even if it was generous, saying that Universe 9, after seeing Universe 6 use the Patara earrings, they use it on one of the two of the Trio of Dangers. My best guess would be with Bergamo and Basil, using the power gain from Bergamo and the poison from Basil. Probably take out a few of the Pride Troopers, but other than that, no. They have no chance whatsoever. Now, for the real Universe 10, God, apologies that... God, I don't know why I kept saying Universe 10 throughout the whole video when it's supposed to be Universe 11. So, Universe 10. Nah. I don't see Universe 10 actually getting anywhere near as well. Universe 10 doesn't have that many impressive fighters when their main trait was their technique and strength. Or their muscle, basically. Heck, I can't even remember many of the Universe 10 fighters that were impressive. Most of their fighters got knocked out before they even had the chance to fight. Yeah, two of their fighters are able to fly, but that's nothing. But who can actually, like, make any dent in them? Maybe Obuni and Napapa, the sumo wrestler guy. Those two could probably be the only ones to do any real damage against Universe 11. Other than that, since they're able to go up against pretty strong fighters, especially from Universe 7, with Gohan being the main example, no, there's not really anyone I can see taking out anyone in Universe 11. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the universes other than Universe 7. So in final conclusions, the two universes that could possibly defeat Universe 11 throughout the whole tournament would be Universes 4 and 6. 4 from trying to run out the clock with their deceptive fighters and probably Ganos with his power increase throughout the whole tournament. Hopefully holding the ground while the sneaky fighters trying to stay within the ring within the time limit. But Universe 6, since being the twin universe for Universe 7, would more likely have the biggest chance of a win thanks to their Saiyans, their teamwork, and if Hit wasn't eliminated, using his time skip and time hold to knock out some of the fighters and also win by the clock. But anyways, that's it for the video, guys. I just wanted to get my quick thoughts and do a quick discussion videos. I want to hear from your thoughts on anything else I might have missed out or skipped on other possibilities that could happen in this tournament from other universes possibly having an inch of a chance of winning against Jiren in Universe 11. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe for more videos. And if you like this video, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. So with that said, this has been your Mini East, and until next time, take care, everyone.